Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with my project level up update, and I skipped last month's update because I didn't have much progress to share with you. But we are leveling up today because I was working on my level 3 palette and I was so surprised to hit 3 pans in a month. All of the uses from the previous month also counted towards me hitting pan in those 3 eyeshadows, and I had been working on my BH Cosmetics Do Not Disturb palette for my level 3, and this project is created by Sophie. So basically you randomly select one palette and use all eyeshadows in there at least once and hit one pan, and then you level up to level 2, use all eyeshadows in there twice and hit 2 pans, and so on. You can reset it after level 5, or you can go on up to 6, 7, 8. That's gonna be too much. Anyway, I reset it after level 5. I usually finish level 5 in a year. I mean, from level 1 to level 5, I tend to do that, but we'll see how this year is gonna play out because I'm in the middle of the year and I think I'm on the right track to do so this year as well. Before we get into the update though, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. My name is Ravneet and I do a lot of eyeshadow project panning. I just love creating fun looks with eyeshadows. However, I'm really bad at taking pictures. Anyway, let's take a look at how this palette was looking like last update when I rolled it in. So we had pan on Getting Lost, which is the first shade, and then we had pan on Off the Grid and Don't Bother, which are those pink cleaning shimmers in the bottom row. And this is how it's looking like today. We hit 3 pans. So we hit pan on Peace Out, Me Time, and On Hold. So I was lucky enough to have 2 shimmer eyeshadows because hitting pan on shimmers is way easier than hitting pan on matte. And this eyeshadow I paired with my Pan That Palette Big Wig. That's a dark purple shade, and I loved how these two paired together, and I used it as an accent shade a lot. So let's go over numbers and how many times I've used each eyeshadow in here. The first eyeshadow, called Getting Lost, I used it 7 times in total, and then Peace Out, I used it 19 times. I hit pan on 17th use in this project. I'm pretty sure I have way many uses than just 19 on this one because I used it previously as well. I'm pretty sure I have 10 more prior uses on this eyeshadow. And then Not Today, we have slight dip happening. I really like this deepening up shade and I used it 5 times total. And then Me Time is something that I hit pan on, so I used it a total of 18 times and hit pan on the 16th use, then used it 2 more times to kind of expand the pan a little bit more. And Silent Mode is something that I used a lot as well, but it doesn't look like it's been used. I used it 12 times. There's very little disturbance showing in the pan. This is the eyeshadow that I wore in my Pan That Palette update. So I wore it all over my eyelid and I've been pairing it with my tealish sort of matte shade in Revolution palette as well. That one is in my The Eyeshadow Project Pan project. But yeah, I used it a ton. I wore it as an accent shade. 12 times is a lot and still no movement. I'd say no significant movement, but I'm happy with the usage. I really enjoyed it. And then the next shade is again something we hit pan on. It's called On Hold, and this took me the least amount of uses to hit pan, and I hit pan on this one in only 9 uses in this project and used it once more to expand it a little bit. I'm wearing it today on my eyes in the outer corner along with Personal Space. And then this eyeshadow, called Off the Grid, I used it 4 times. It already had pan. And then Personal Space is in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project, but I have used it maybe more than 20 times in total. So yeah, it wasn't a part of this eyeshadow project. And then the last eyeshadow, called Don't Bother, I used it 3 times. This is something that had pan already. So yeah, I have hit my usage goal. I have hit my 3 pan goal, and now it's time to take a look at some of the eye looks that I did. Hopefully I have something to show you. I apologize for not taking enough pictures of my eye looks, but yeah, I will insert whatever eye looks I would have on me. And now let's roll in our level 4 palette, which is going to be a little bit different because I don't have many eyeshadow palettes left that have those many number of eyeshadows that I can hit pan on. So for example, I only have a few eyeshadow palettes that have more than 4 eyeshadows that I can hit pan on, because most of my eyeshadow palettes have tons of pans in them. I mean, I can technically roll in from those palettes, but I have been ignoring my single eyeshadows for the longest period of time, so it's time for me to work on my single eyeshadows, and I have 8 single eyeshadows in total. So I'll be rolling all of those eyeshadows as my level 4 palette, and I have pan on 2 eyeshadows already, which means I need to hit pan on 4 eyeshadows and use all of those single eyeshadows at least 4 times each. So let's take a look at first 3 eyeshadows, and all 3 of them are from Natasha Denona. And the first one is from Retro palette, I believe. The shade is called Helio. I rolled it into my pan those eyeshadows long time ago, I guess, and that's how I got the pan. So that's our first eyeshadow. And next one is from Glam palette. It just says outer lid shade, and that's how it looks like. Its number is 321M. It's a beautiful taupe shade. And the third eyeshadow is from Zendo palette, and this is called Sense. I got all 3 of them when Sephora Canada used to carry Natasha Denona as a brand. Now they don't carry it anymore, and they would have like these little gifts with $25 or $30 purchase, and I got these eyeshadows as gifts with other purchases. I think it's a nice way to try out the formula. I think I got to try out all these 3 eyeshadows, and that's the reason I never opted in to get a Natasha Denona palette myself, because it's fine, it's nice, but it's not exceptional. Like, nothing I'm missing out for sure. So let's swatch all 3 of these eyeshadows real quick. That's how the first one looks like, and this is what this one looks like. Sense shade is a little bit bronzy. Let's move on to our next batch, and all 3 of them are from AOA Studio. So got them from Shop Missy for frankening purposes, but I never got around to use them in my frankens, but I do like using them here and there. And the first one is called Exotic. This has a huge dip going on, and it's a nice blending out shade for greens because it's not super pigmented, but it's not completely lackluster either. So it works out as a great blending shade. And this one is a standard white matte shade and is called Starlit. This is a white shimmer shade and is called Ice Queen. That's what Exotic looks like. It has decent pigmentation. That's what Starlit looks like. It's a nice white shade. And this is what Ice Queen looks like. It's very frosty kind of shade. I mean, makes sense. It's a white shimmer. And now let's take a look at the last 2 eyeshadows. And both of them come from Mars Northern Lights in a Pan collection. And the first one is called Finland Flash. This is what it looks like. These eyeshadows are really shallow. There's only 0.4 grams of product in here, and that's why I hit pan on this one, even when I wasn't focusing on a particular spot or anything like that. In the camera, it looks fuchsia or pink, but to me, it looks green. Let me try to show its reflection. Tried it with a mirror, didn't help, but I hope you can catch the glimpse. Anyway, that's our first eyeshadow, and let me swatch it. To me, from this angle, it looks completely green. And the next eyeshadow is again from the same collection. It's called Norwegian Nights, and this has peacock blue and warm green shift. That's what this one looks like. It looks warm green on the camera, but to me from this angle it looks like indigo. Anyway, these are all 8 eyeshadows that I'll be rolling in for my level 4, and I will have to use all eyeshadows at least 4 times each and hit 4 pans. So first pan for sure I'm gonna hit in this eyeshadow. It's called Norwegian Nights because I know these are very shallow and it's gonna be super easy to hit pan on. And next eyeshadow that I know for sure that I'll be hitting pan on is this one from AOA Studio. It's called Exotic. These shades are deep, but I have such a big dip going on, so I'll have no issues hitting pan on this one. And I think for last two pans, I'll focus on these two Natasha Denona eyeshadows because these are also 0.4 grams each. So these are quite shallow and it'll be easier for me to hit pan on both of them. That way I'll hit 4 new pans and I'll have more usage on my single ignored eyeshadows. But yeah, that's all I have for today's update. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. If you are interested to follow my other projects, I just uploaded my Pan That Palette update. You can check it out. And I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching, wherever in the world you are. I will see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.